Hey, what's going on, good people? It is Kiera Jones, the CEO and founder of House Capacity Publishing, and I just want to welcome all of the current authors and aspiring authors to the video. Hopefully today's presentation or lesson will be something very beneficial to you. But I am going to speak to something that everybody can probably relate to, and definitely people can agree that they need more of. I'm going to talk about money. Okay, welcome Richard, welcome Derek, welcome Derek Jackson and Buford, welcome. So obviously I'm speaking to authors and those who want to become authors. A lot of the misconception about authorship is surrounding, I'm going to write one book, one time, I'm going to sell millions of copies, I'm going to be a millionaire, my life is going to be set, my children are going to be set, boom, that's the end of story. But I definitely want to acknowledge the current wave of publishing and authorship. There is definitely a saturation of books in the market, especially because people are self-publishing. Let's just be honest about it. A lot of people are publishing their own books. Books are readily available. There are a lot of different options. You can read a book about anything that you probably have an interest in. Someone has written it. But I want to talk about how you can take your book from just being a book that's sold to producing quality products from just one book. Okay, that's kind of the wave now, and you definitely want to make sure that you're not stuck in the old way of thinking, oh, this one book is going to sell millions of copies and it's going to generate wealth. Now, that's not impossible. It's not impossible. You definitely can generate wealth from just one book. But for everyday people, for people who are not already famous or not already popular, you may want to consider different ways that your book can generate more income for you. So I'm going to talk about 5 different ways that your one book can make 5 different ways, that your one book can lend you to 5 different streams of income. Okay, so the first way that your book can make money for you are workshops. This is definitely true if you are a nonfiction writer. For fiction, you can definitely do workshops too, but this method is definitely great for people who are writing nonfiction. I'll give you an example. My first book, The Power of the Pennies, Overcoming Sexual Bondage, I started out just expecting book sales. But as time went by, as I assessed the need for my book, I created something I call the Penny Power Workshop. This is taking concepts from the book and comprising it into a maybe 1 to 2 hour or even 3 hour workshop where people can still get the idea of your book. They can still walk away with some of the themes that your book provide, but it's in a seated area. So you don't have to always assume that people are going to read your book from cover to cover, which I can tell you that most people are not going to read your book from cover to cover. Again, this is a different age in printing and book publishing, and people just frankly don't like to read. You would be amazed. I come across people all the time that say they don't like to read or they don't read. So we want to make sure that we're still able to give our content in more creative ways. So as a sidebar, I was a teacher for about 6 years, and it's funny how these things come back around full circle no matter what I'm doing in life. So now I'm publishing books, but even as a teacher, I had content that I needed to deliver, but I had several different learning styles that I need to try to address. So this is the same with whatever your book's content is involving. You have content, a book is just one way to deliver that content. You have to be creative and figure out how you can get your content to multiple people and multiple avenues. Excuse me. So the first way is a workshop. Again, you kind of skim through your book, capture some of your main themes, present them in a creative way, maybe have some activities involved, but you definitely want to be able to have a workshop where you can charge people to attend it. And maybe as a gift or as a bonus, you can include your book so that they're interested in moving forward. But yeah, you definitely want to provide a workshop. Okay, the second way that your book can make money for you are speaking engagements. So if your book is pertaining to something that's trending right now, if your book is involving content that some different associations may talk about. So for example, Sherelle Hogan, which I mention her a lot because the girl is just amazing. She's on fire. Her book is about being a child of a prisoner. Her mother was incarcerated, her father was, and so she started an organization involving her helping children whose parents were also incarcerated. So as a result, she's been asked to speak at prisons. She's been asked to speak at schools. She's been asked to come to all these special events regarding a subject matter because it's something that's relevant and it's something that's that people are already talking about anyway. So make sure that you position your book in a way that the conversation just extends beyond your book. Find out what organizations are dealing with some of the subject matter of your book. Find out what schools are willing to host you. Find out what universities are willing to talk to you. There are several student organizations in several different universities who will probably bring you in, and there's budget. There's a budget for such events and speakers. So that's the second way your book can make money for you. You can become a speaker and you can visit these different places and make sure that you're able to connect with people who are interested in your subject matter, who may or may not be interested in your book itself. Okay? The third way to make money from one book is merchandising. This one I think is the most creative and fun way to make money because merchandising goes a very long way. You can create t-shirts, mugs, bookmarks. I mean, it's so many things that you can do regarding your book. There's one lady who's writing a book about how she came to be in the hair industry. And some products that she started to develop products from her book. She started to develop hair creams and shampoos and things like that because she talks about some of those things in her book. So you can definitely take the messages from your book. I created underwear. Believe it or not, I have an underwear line out. I mean, it's kind of uncomfortable for some people, but my book is about sexuality and the title, obviously, The Power of the Panties. I created some panties with different slogans about abstinence and purity on it. So that's just something that you can do with your own book. Take some of your core messages and create some merchandise. Okay, hello everybody who just joined. The next way that you can make money from just one book is online courses and coaching. So if you're comfortable with teaching, if you're comfortable with creating curriculum, or even if you're not, we assist with that. But you can create an online course that also guides people can self-guide, it can be a self-guided course that people can complete on their own during their own time, but still, again, take away the core messages of your book. Your online course is not going to be your entire book, but you're going to set it up in a way that people can self-navigate and people can, participate and have a hands-on experience with the content that you provide. Now, I put these together because online courses go hand in hand with coaching. So I'm going to give a shout out to Latoya Early of Chase Great Enterprises, who is the bomb at coaching and coaching coaches. So if you're interested in being a coach, I can definitely give you her information. But you want to be able to give people some information, help guide them through a similar process that you yourself have undergone. So an example, if you are writing, this is great for self-help. If you are writing how to make $1 million in 1 year, you need to have a course on that. That's something that you've proven, something that you're able to replicate, something that you're able to duplicate that people will want to learn. So they might not necessarily read the book that you're writing, but they'll definitely take that course because that's something they want to learn and achieve on their own. Okay, Lily Rapp says, I'm actually writing a book. Are you guys able to help? Definitely, I will connect with you when I'm finished. Definitely, thank you for reaching out. So I want to go over some of the ways we talked about. The first way to make money with your book, workshops. The second way, speaking engagements. The third way is merchandising. Fourth way, online coaching and or courses. And one final way that you can make book. Actually, I'm not going to say final. I'm just going to say the fifth way, because there are definitely many different ways you can make money with your book. But the fifth way you can make money with your book is a production. I mean, people love movies, people love plays, people love things that are visual storytelling. So if people might not want to pick up your book and read it cover to cover, they might want to see your story acted out, and they want to interact with it. They might want to put, voices to lines. They want to see people embody the characters that you've written about. They want to see how the book has, come from page to screen or to stage. So you can create a production, a lot of different, believe it or not, your production doesn't even have to be as expensive as you might think. Okay, you don't have to be Tyler Perry and have a whole set built, 2 levels going upstairs and downstairs. I spoke with another playwright, and she was like, all you need is just maybe 2 or 3 props and a great storyline. So if you're, hesitant about writing a book because you think people won't read it, think about transferring it into a play and charging admission for it. Now, you definitely have an overhead when it comes to production. You're going to pay your actors and actresses and whoever else you have involved in your team. But that is definitely a way that you can generate income from your book. So I want to reiterate, if you are a new author, if you're someone who's interested in being an author, think beyond just book sales. Think beyond just how many books I sold today or didn't sell, how many people bought it. The industry is changing. The industry is changing. The world is changing. So we have to make sure that we're not stuck in different archaic types of views when it comes to publishing books. Okay? So I want to take this time also to tell you about how we can help you if you are interested in writing a book. We're doing a workshop this upcoming Saturday called Crank It Out. I've done it twice before. Great reviews. I have people who were pumped and motivated after they left. This Crank It Out is a little bit different from the ones that we've done before because we're giving more time, and you're going to have some hands-on guidance. So what you can expect at Crank It Out, it's here in Detroit. Yep, it's here in Detroit. You can expect not one-on-one, but there is one-on-one options available. But you can expect a specific outline, a specific chapter, a replica chapter. So a lot of people need something else to see before they're able to do it. You're going to have a chapter that's been provided. I'm going to walk you through the entire process of writing a book, and you're going to leave with 1 chapter already written completely. That's why we extended the extra time. Before, people were like, man, I didn't finish my chapter. But we want to make sure we give you more than enough time to be able to develop your chapter. So Crank It Out is available. It's on Eventbrite. All you have to do is go to eventbrite.com and search Crank It Out if you're interested. There are only 12 seats available. I do want to stress that because this is something that definitely needs to be more intimate, because we're talking about writing and writing processes and critiquing and all of the different things that go along with that. So we want to make sure that it's an intimate setting. So if you have any questions for me, I can hang on. If you have information, if you need more information from me, you can definitely message me or inbox me, and I'll make sure you get that. But I do want to thank you all for joining. Hopefully this has been helpful, and I'll be back with other videos this week. I'm also giving away 1 seat by the end of the week. So if that's you who wants to have that free seat, make sure you stay tuned. All right, everybody, great success with your books. Goodbye.